morning at 7:04 on this Tuesday, February 18th. It's time to head to Studio B for Coleman and Company.
Hello, everybody, and welcome a Tuesday morning, and we're glad to have you with us. Glad to be on the air for Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital. This is February the 18th, and this morning Tracy Pope is here, Director of Community Relations, and has a guest that we'll talk to. But first, Tracy, good morning to you.
Good morning, Coleman.
And I hope things are going well. We're all anticipating a little snow in the forecast.
We are.
Look,
I was looking at my weather app this morning, just trying to predict what's going to be happening, so we'll see.
You have a guest this morning, as per usual, and you can do the introduction.
Yes, absolutely. Before we get started, I just once again want to thank everyone with the Lebanon Chamber and the Mount Juliet Chamber that came out for our open house and ribbon cutting 2 weeks ago for the Vanderbilt Ingram Cancer Center in Lebanon. It was an extraordinary day. It was nothing like it is today. It was warm and sunny, just a wonderful February 3rd. We had great weather and had so much support. So we, just love this community, and Vanderbilt is just, honored to be able to provide the excellent services, the high quality care to communities like Wilson County. So thank you for your continued support. We have Allie Hackett. She's a nurse practitioner with Vanderbilt Heart. It's February. It's National Heart Month. So we wanted to talk about some cardiology and heart this morning.
Well, Allie, good morning and welcome to our program.
Good morning. Happy to be here.
We'd like to know a little bit about you before we start talking about what you do and the message that you have for us this morning. So tell us where you're from and about your training and so on, and things you'd like for us to know about you.
Yes, absolutely. I'm a local girl. I'm from Carthage, Tennessee. I went to MTSU for my bachelor's, and then I went to TSU for my master's. And so I graduated with my master's in 2016.
Was this kind of a plan that you had early on? Just wonder what time in your life you decided this was the way you were going.
Well, so my grandmother was a nurse, and she did home health back in the 90s. And in the 90s, you could go with her. And so I remember as a child going with her to home health visits. And so I believe that's probably what started my love for nursing back when I was young. I always knew that's what I wanted to do. So thankfully, I was blessed.
Well, as far as your experience getting your degree and so on, how was that? Was it really difficult?
It was, yes. It was very hard. MTSU at that time had a very rigorous program, and so it was extremely hard. We had classes, all day long, along with clinicals, and so it was a wonderful program. And then my master's was even harder because I worked full-time and then went to school. So I would work 3 days a week, and then I would also do clinicals mostly 2 to 3 days a week and do my study. So it was very challenging getting my master's.
Well, tell us about your practice now and how long you've been at Vanderbilt.
Yeah, so I actually just started at Vanderbilt in July. I have been a cardiac nurse practitioner now for almost 9 years. So cardiology is all I know. But my husband and I moved to Lebanon back in almost a year, in March of last year. And so I wanted to be closer to home and to serve this community. And so I've loved being here locally. It's a huge blessing for me and my family.
Well, you have children?
I do not. I have an elderly dog.
So between your husband and what you do as a nurse practitioner, that's an awful lot of your life, it seems.
Yes, it is. But that's one reason we wanted to be close and be in Lebanon is because I live less than 10 minutes from the hospital, from clinic, and so I don't have to worry about a drive. So yes, it's majority of my day, but I'm able to be home at a reasonable time and cook dinner.
Well, again, as Tracy has said, February Heart Month and cardiovascular disease is a big name for a lot of heart problems, I guess.
Yes.
What is cardiovascular disease?
So the first thing people think about with cardiovascular disease is heart attack, blockages in your heart. That's the number one thought. That's typically why we see most patients is they're worried, am I having a heart attack? You can also have multiple other cardiac issues, ranging from heart failure, from something like atrial fibrillation or atrial flutter. So there's a variety. I mean, there's so many heart issues, and thankfully we're able to meet most of these cardiac needs here in Lebanon.
Well, so you deal with this, if not daily, on a weekly basis, all that you just mentioned there, I think.
Yes.
It's a pretty prevalent thing, pretty common that somebody, 1 out of 3, 1 out of 4, 1 out of 2, I don't know what.
Oh, yes. So I would say, probably 1 out of 4 to 5 people, especially in this area, have probably some type of underlying heart issues.
Mm-hmm. So you deal with all of that as a nurse practitioner?
Yeah. So, as a nurse practitioner, I'm able to see, a lot of things. We deal with blood pressure. We are able to kind of assess patients. We sometimes are the first line before they see a doctor, so we're able to order the correct test, send them in the area that they need to go in. We're able to see triage. How important is this? How concerned are we? And then hopefully at the end of the day, just to put people's mind at ease.
Do you solve the problems yourself for some people, or do you always refer to somebody else? Or how does that work?
Good question. So it depends. If it's something that I'm worried about, then I will always be able to call the doctor, talk to the doctor. If it's something that I think that I can handle easily, like blood pressure, cholesterol, those type of things, I do treat. But if I ever have an issue, we have wonderful cardiologists here in the area that we're able to call and talk to and work through any issues with.
Mm-hmm. Well, now, where do you work each day that you're at work?
So we have an office off West Main where me and the other nurse practitioner, Miss Christie, work. But then we also have an office in front of the hospital off Bador.
Okay. And people come to you many times when they have a problem.
Yes.
Not necessarily a referral.
No, you don't have to have a referral. From what I understand, it's very easy to get on the Vanderbilt portal and self-schedule. Mm-hmm. Very easy.
Okay. Let's talk about if somebody needs a referral to see you.
Yes. So
how does that normally work?
So if your insurance has to have a referral, it probably will need to come from your primary care doctor. And all you have to do is ask your primary care doctor if they would mind sending a referral to Vanderbilt Heart.
That's the way it works with a referral thing, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think
that's to satisfy an insurance requirement.
I think we think of referrals in maybe 2 different buckets. One would be if you have an ongoing relationship with your primary care physician, you go in for regular checkups, you talk to your physician about concerns, and maybe they identify a problem, then they would make a referral on your behalf to the next step, the specialist, like a cardiologist. Sometimes insurances require a referral, but we really don't have a whole lot of insurance carriers that require that these days, so you would have to get that before you could go. But most of the time, if you are a patient and you feel like something is going on, you can self-referral into the cardiology office or most any specialty office. I think it just helps, having that first line with your primary care and talking things through to be sure that you know which direction to go and who to go to next.
Okay, let's talk about the signs and symptoms of a heart attack, Allie.
Okay, so everybody's different. Men and women do present differently. But the most common thing that we see with a heart attack is, of course, chest pain, pressure, or tightness. Okay? Sometimes people will have pain that goes down their arms, could be one arm, could be both arms, and shortness of breath. Typically, it can be a sudden onset because a heart attack is where the plaque in your arteries breaks away and causes a sudden occlusion. So it can be a sudden onset of chest pain with some of these we call radiating symptoms. Sometimes people can have blockages that are slowly building up, and typically those symptoms will be with exertion. So, for example, a couple of weeks ago or a month ago, you could walk up and down a flight of stairs, no issues. Now you can't go up 2 flights of stairs without feeling some chest tightness or pain or being short of breath. And to me, those they're different signs. One is more sudden, which would be a heart attack. The other one is more, maybe a little bit more subtle, but you know, the more active you are, the sooner you may be able to see a sign that something's wrong with your heart.
If that happens to you, you need to seek help immediately?
So yes, if you have a sudden onset of chest pain, pressure, tightness, shortness of breath, arm pain, you need to go to the hospital. That is, it's an emergency situation, and thankfully here at Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital, we will be able to treat you. Absolutely.
Okay, let's take our break. It is that time. Our program presented by Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital, and this is Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
Let's see what's happening on the roadways, and it's all brought to you by Absolute Kubota. High performance, high horsepower, 0% financing is still a thing. Now is the best time to save on new Kubota L-Series tractors, rated #1 for durability and owner experience in the U.S. Absolute Kubota, 1506 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. Watching traffic still run a little bit heavy here on I-40 westbound, passing Donaldson Pike from the earlier crash. Now that wrecks over to the side, 24 westbound at Walden Road. It's heavy, though, coming in from Murfreesboro, Rutherford County, up through the Antioch area on 24 westbound, as it continues to build 65 south down through Millersville. Hey, whether you need a new roof repair, roof inspection, call Independent Roofing Specialist. Check out irsroofs.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
1.5 seconds left, no timeouts. Here's your season. Negron gives it to Bird. Bird for the win. It's gone! He did it! College Hoops is back, and so is Cumberland University on the radio. Join me, John Boyce, in the booth for every Mid-South Conference game this regular and postseason for both men's and women's Phoenix basketball. Conference games are every Thursday starting at 5:30 and every Saturday starting at 1 o'clock. Phoenix basketball is right here on 98.9. Cumberland's a winner.
It's tax time, and Cars Unlimited Tax Service is locally owned and has 33 years of experience in preparing taxes. They do upfront loans of $250 to $6,000. They're also an authorized IRS e-file provider. Call 615-449-2955 or stop by 1006 West Main Street in Lebanon. Cars Unlimited Tax Service stands ready to help you prepare your taxes. We thank you for joining us here on this Tuesday morning. Our program presented by Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital. Tracy Pope is always here when we, there might have been once or twice she hasn't been when we had.
I'm pretty regular. Is that what you're trying to say?
You
pretty
really
regular.
Are. We appreciate the great people and the preparation that you do to make this go well. But Tracy's Director of Community Relations, and then we have Allie Hackett today, nurse practitioner. We've talking about February Heart Month and talking about cardiovascular disease, the signs and symptoms of a heart attack. And let's move into another area. If one has a family history of heart disease, what are some preventive measures that they should take?
That is a good question, and I actually see this a lot. So for family heart disease, a first-degree relative, mom, dad, brothers or sisters, are a good indicator of some type of hereditary heart disease. The first thing you can do is stay active. Check your cholesterol. The one thing that I really recommend more recently is something called a calcium score. And that, to me, risk stratifies patients. So if you have a family history and you also have a high calcium score just shows that you have plaque on your arteries, then I'm going to be really aggressive with your cholesterol medicine and put you on a baby aspirin. But if your calcium score low or 0, then I'm going to tell you to go live your life and not worry too much about your family history. But I think that the best thing anybody can do, whether you have family heart disease, a history of family heart disease or not, is being active, moving your body, getting your steps in every day.
What about obesity? And we haven't talked a lot about that, although you're suggesting you won't be as obese if you are active, probably.
Yes.
But that's a problem, isn't it?
Oh yes, it's a big problem. I've also noticed that more rural it's a bigger issue just because the lack of maybe resources or the lack of access to good food. But it doesn't take much. You can walk to your mailbox a couple times a day, walk up and down stairs. Lebanon does have great resources to go indoor tracks or a senior citizen center that I've heard patients say is wonderful. But moving your body at least 15 to 30 minutes a day, I think, is one of the best things you can do for your heart.
You mentioned, you alluded to diet there, and of course, obesity sometimes has a lot to do with diet as well. What part does that play in all of this?
I think it's a huge. I think diet and food plays a huge role. I personally do believe that the more processed foods we eat, the worse it is on your body. I am a big believer. I tell people, let's limit our fast food. Let's limit our frozen foods. Try to shop on the outside of the grocery store. Let's eat more fresh foods. How does that help in compared to the others? So frozen foods, processed foods have tons of seed oils, vegetable oil, and then when it's processed, it has tons of salt because it preserves it. Both of those things raise your blood pressure. They can cause heart disease. I'm a strong believer they cause plaque buildup. So staying away from those, limiting your seed oils, using olive oil, avocado oil, those are much better oils for your heart than any type of canola oil or vegetable oil.
So you diet is a big thing with you.
Yeah, it is. I've actually, this is a journey that me and my husband are on currently. So we're doing more research ourselves and trying to figure out how to eat better and just kind of feel better, honestly.
And no one likes the word diet, Coleman. So let's not talk about diet. Let's just talk about the lifestyle.
It's a lifestyle. It's a different
really
way of life.
Okay, I know I'm old. Okay, lifestyle. Changing the subject a little bit here, but you mentioned high blood pressure, hypertension, a time or two, but let's talk about that and maybe preventing that or dealing with it, because that's part of the cardiovascular situation as well.
Absolutely. So one thing is some high blood pressure is hereditary. It doesn't matter what you do, it's hereditary and you will have to be on blood pressure medicine. But there are risk factor modifications that you can do to limit or to help control your blood pressure. 1, weight. 2 is diet. Sometimes we see these go hand in hand, but weight, sleep apnea, I believe, affects your blood pressure. So if you have untreated sleep apnea, sometimes getting on a CPAP machine will really actually lower your blood pressure. And exercise, daily movement.
So you deal with what all you just mentioned here concerning high blood pressure and with people and make these recommendations on a regular basis.
Yes, can you tell?
Well, how concerned should someone be if their blood pressure is elevated?
So they should be concerned. A lot of people don't feel good when their blood pressure is high. Some people get headaches. Some people get some tightness in their chest. Your body doesn't like a high blood pressure. It shouldn't like a high blood pressure. And so these are very concerning. If your blood pressure is high for a long period of time, it does cause heart damage. And so I do not recommend your blood pressure being untreated for long periods of time.
But as far as what one can do about that, exercise does have its place, and what you eat has...
Yes. And then also there's a place for medicine.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we've... your areas of expertise include... got a list of 5 things here. The cardiovascular medicine. What is anything you want to say about that in particular? There are certain medications that you deal with, no doubt.
Well, anywhere between aspirin, blood pressure medicines, statins, cholesterol medicines, so cardiovascular medicine, anything. Essentially what us as nurse practitioners do is we do general cardiology, which deals with kind of all those things we talked about above. Anywhere from heart disease to electrical problems, people needing pacemakers, AFib. So as nurse practitioners, we do cover a variety of cardiovascular issues.
And we talked earlier about the location. So this is one of the growing pains of our Vanderbilt Heart Clinic. We have 2 locations here in Lebanon, and it's simply because we don't have enough space for everyone. So we have a location on West Main Street behind the Taco Bell. I'm sure lots of people have seen that location. Then we have a Vanderbilt Heart on our campus at the hospital. And so we have a multi-specialty colleagues in those clinics, like Allie is talking more about the general cardiology patient, but we also have interventional cardiology, we have vascular surgery, we have congestive heart failure specialists. So we have a multitude of Vanderbilt specialized cardiac care just here in Lebanon.
Well, you have seen the progression here, actually more than Allie, because Allie hasn't been here that long. But you've seen a big change, Tracy.
Absolutely. You know, the investments. I think heart disease is the number 1 killer for Americans in 2023. And this is something that we want to invest in. We do not want patients to have to go all the way down to campus. We want to take care of the sickest of the sick down on our Vanderbilt University Medical Center campus. And we want to bring that high quality, excellent care out to the communities. And this is just a major service line that we have invested in here in Wilson County.
All right, well, back to another area of expertise for Allie Hackett, our nurse practitioner this morning, the heart valve diseases. Don't think we've talked about that much this morning. Can you give us a little information concerning heart valve diseases?
Yes, absolutely. So one of the most common heart valve diseases that we see is aortic stenosis. It is typically related to age. Unfortunately, nothing you can do to make it better, make it worse. But there's two main valves in your heart called the mitral valve and the aortic valve. And so typically what we initially see is we hear a murmur when we listen to someone with our stethoscope, and then we would refer for an echocardiogram. A cardiac murmur means there's some type of abnormal blood flow, and we'll be able to see what the cause of that is with an echocardiogram. But most of the time, it's crazy how much medicine has advanced. And sometimes if your valve does need to be replaced, you no longer have to have open heart surgery. It is a very simple procedure. They kind of go through the growing and are able to fix your valve that way.
It's amazing.
It is amazing,
the
yes.
surgeries that can be done on the heart. And I'm old enough to remember when we had the first heart transplant. Mm-hmm. And as my memory, if my memory is correct here, I think it was a South African doctor maybe that did this. And I don't think the patient survived too long, but it was a great step forward, and we've come a long way in all with dealing with the heart. The heart is a wonderful organ and all of this, but it seems so delicate and I don't know how
complex.
We're able to do so much more though than we once could, which is really amazing.
Oh, it's so amazing. Even since I've been doing this now almost 10 years, even talking about the aortic stenosis, this wasn't available 10 years ago. It's something that's fairly new, and it's had great success. Even with heart transplants in the past 10 years, they're able to make huge leadways. And actually here at the local with Vanderbilt, Wilson County, we do have a congestive heart failure team that's here locally that can help with transplants or heart failure. So once again, this is a great resource for our Wilson County and surrounding communities.
Well, let's remind everybody again that you're available for people to see you. Your location is on West Main.
Yes, behind Taco Bell.
All right, and it's you take referrals.
Yes.
If somebody wants to walk in off the street to see you, is that okay as well?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I'll see you if you walk in.
All right. We've got a couple of minutes left. Anything else that you're thinking now that maybe you would like to have mentioned that we hadn't gotten around to, or anything else for us?
Well, I will say, being from Carthage and being locally, I feel that Wilson that Vanderbilt in Wilson County is a wonderful resource for our patients. They don't have to go downtown or to main campus. We can serve so many patients locally, and I just feel like that is a huge resource for this community. You just have to drive down the street, and a lot of your cardiology care can be taken care of in Wilson County. And I just think that's a wonderful resource to have.
And these are specialists that see patients in Nashville as well. So I know sometimes people think, oh, you have to drive into Nashville. You have to see that physician. But these physicians see patients in all sorts of locations, and they come out to Wilson County to take care of our patients. I would like to kind of go back to one other topic. We were talking about signs and symptoms of heart attacks. We see more people walk into the emergency room that are having some signs and symptoms, and it is always recommended to call 911. You know, if time is muscle is the theme for Heart Month, and if you call 911, those emergency providers can go ahead and start your care and let the hospital know what is coming, and the team can be ready and be prepared. And so many people think, oh, I'm just going to drive. Maybe it's not that big of a deal. Maybe I don't have anything going on. But it is always recommended to call 911. So I think we want to maybe leave it on that note.
Okay. All right. Well, we thank you for the program this morning, Tracy Pope and Allie Hackett, nurse practitioner. You've done a real good job. It's nice to meet you, to know you, and we certainly wish you well.
Thank you. It's nice to be
And that
here.
is part one of Coleman and Company. We've got more. Please keep it right here, FM 98.9.
Let's see what's happening on the roadways. Want to thank Bates Ford. Get a battery installed in most vehicles. $199.95. Bates Ford, 1780 Franklin Road. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. It's starting to build even more now, coming in from Hermitage and Donaldson on 40 coming westbound here at B&A Airport here at the exit at Donaldson Pike. It's loading up again on 40 east at Charlotte Pike. All that traffic building in from the west side as you come through Kingston Springs. Watch your speed. 65 looks like it's on the increase even more southbound down through Millersville. Hey, Princess Hot Chicken has live entertainment every Wednesday night from 6 to 9. Check it out at princesshotchicken.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
What is your passion? How can you use that passion to enrich your community? Hi, this is Melanie Minter, President and CEO of the Lebanon-Wilson County Chamber of Commerce. Your chamber is the resource for making connections to fulfill your passion. Whether education, nonprofit, agriculture, entertainment, or government relations, Wilson County offers a place for you to be involved. Your chamber connects businesses, individuals, and your passion to the community. We have an enthusiasm for excellence. Join us and catch the spirit. Call or visit our office at 149 Public Square in Lebanon.
And now, a moment of silence to remember our dear friend.
Sorry. Oh, man. Life can be uncomfortable. Your home doesn't have to be. With a wide range of air conditioners, furnaces, and heat pumps, Rheem makes it easy to feel comfortable, even when you can't be comfortable.
Financing available through TVA's Energy Right program and your local power company. Call Randy's Heat and Air 237-3604.
Where a patient starts their cancer care matters. And here, that means Vanderbilt Ingram Cancer Center, Wilson County. It's Vanderbilt level care without making the drive to Nashville. From screening to diagnosis to treatment and recovery, patients can get all the care they need right here close to home. So now, having the best care team and most advanced treatment is closer than ever. Vanderbilt Ingram Cancer Center, making cancer care personal.
We'll have cloudy and cold conditions for today. Highs will be in the upper 30s. Watching a potential winter storm for tonight. Cloudy with snow moving in. 1 to 3 inches of snow expected right now. Lows in the lower 20s. And then snow ending on Wednesday. Highs in the mid-20s. This weather forecast brought to you by Walker Auction and Realty. Professional auction and real estate services. Get top dollar for your home, land, or personal property. Log on to MikeWalkerAuctions.com. They know auctions. With your Severe View forecast, I'm Drew Richards.
We welcome you to part two of Coleman and Company, and we're on this Tuesday morning. We are glad to have Sean Dozier here, Executive Director of Hearthside Senior Living. He shows up every Tuesday about this time, and we enjoy talking about Hearthside.
Well, I enjoy being here, Coleman. I always enjoy coming in here, even if it's cold outside. I'm here, and
well, it's warm in here.
It's warm in here,
more or less.
I was thinking as I was listening to your guest before me. You know, we have we have a nurse practitioner at Hearthside that comes most every day. It's a benefit of living in assisted living. If you get sick, if you have a minor cold, or if you have a minor issue going on, a nurse practitioner comes in and talks to our nurse manager and makes sure you gets the right medication, get the right treatment, and that way you don't have to go out to the doctor. Your family doesn't have to come get you, leave work and leave what they're doing and come get you and take you to the doctor. We have a nurse practitioner that comes in, and we work with Family Medical. They have many doctors over there. About 75, maybe 80% of our residents are affiliated with Family Medical, and so we have a nurse practitioner that comes most every day and just checks out our residents. If they have a cold or a minor issue, they take care of it there. They don't have to go to the doctor and make those changes. So that's a real benefit of living in assisted living.
Well, I don't think you've ever mentioned that before, and what a great thing.
Yeah, it's a great thing. A lot of folks, a lot of facilities have medical directors, but we have a nurse practitioner that works under a medical director, a physician, and a lot of folks, when they come into assisted living, they don't realize that they don't have to go out for every little thing. And when you get to a certain age, you have several issues, and so any medication changes, wounds, anything like that, we take care of in-house, and the nurse practitioner can write the prescription right there.
Mm-hmm.
So that's great. So that's one of the benefits of living in assisted living. Of course, the other benefits, Coleman, I mentioned most every week, and that's, of course, the 3 meals a day and the activities, the housekeeping, the laundry, the Wi-Fi, the cable TV, all that's included in one price. And, of course, your insurance pays for the nurse practitioner and your medication. But the monthly fees we charge is all encompassing. It's all one price, and it's a fair price. And our folks really appreciate that.
Well, from your description, I just can't help but think that Hearthside is a happy place.
Well, it is a happy place. We have our days, like everybody else, but 99% of the time we are a happy place. Our residents most of them are happy. Some of them are a little moody. Yeah. But most of them are happy.
Some days I'm a little
moody too, yeah. So we are a happy place. We do a lot of fun things. I mentioned last week we have a new activities director, and she's doing a great job. She's keeping everybody active. And, when I'm in my office is kind of off to the side, Coleman, and I'm not in the main area. And many times during the day I'll hear a lot of laughter and a lot of talking. And it's my office is right outside the foyer area, so it's great to hear when residents are communicating with each other, talking with each other before breakfast, lunch, or dinner. And it's great to hear them laughing. It's great to hear our staff laughing. And, sometimes it gets a little rowdy in there, and I never try to put that down or try to say anything about it, because it brings a lot of joy to the facility, a lot of joy to our residents, and I think it's great. You're right. We are a happy place.
Well, we talk about openings when there are any, and we haven't been talking about openings much lately because you're pretty much full, I think.
We are full. We stay full. We have a short waiting list for our assisted living, so we can get you in pretty quickly in a couple of months. But our independent living is like, as I like to say, it's out the door. We got a lot of folks that wanted that independent living. Mayor Hutto's been over there speaking at our clubhouse. He knows those folks over there. It's a great place down there. It's a great community, a great neighborhood. They watch after each other and they take care of each other. We have a lady that's just recently moved in. They're already over there bringing her bread, bringing her cakes, bringing her cookies, and they just take care of each other, and it's great to see. It's great to be a part of that community down there. But our independent living and our assisted living, we do have waiting lists, and that's a good sign. It means we're doing something right, Coleman.
Absolutely. Well, we like to say that it's Hearthside when it's time for a helping hand, and you've told about a lot of helping hands this morning.
Well, I appreciate our staff. I appreciate our residents, our families. We have a great community over there. Anytime you drive by 215 North Castle Heights Avenue, just think about community and just think about all the good things that are going on over there. We've taken care of a lot of folks over the years since 1994, and we have a great tradition there, and we're going to continue that for many years to come.
All right, let's get to our Hearthside.
Well, I saw Greg Landers last week, and I wanted to say hello to Greg Landers. He, of course, owner of Witt's Barbecue, and just a great guy, great friend. I wanted to say hello to him this morning.
All right, Hearthside, hello, Greg
Landers. Yep.
All right. Well, that kind of brings to an end your visit, but stay safe, stay warm, and watch out for the
You're going to be here tomorrow, even if it snows?
Well, I think we'll be here. We haven't missed one that I can think of.
I know,
in
you're here
31 years.
You're here every
because
time.
of weather. Have we, MJ? I don't think so. We managed to make it, and hopefully everything will go all right.
I'll be listening.
All right.
See ya.
So. Thank you. Sean Dozier, Executive Director, Harside Senior Living, 215 Castle Heights Avenue North, right here in good old Tennessee. All right. County Mayor Randall Hutto is my guest this morning. And Mayor, good morning, first of all.
Good morning to you, Coleman.
And we'll say that you're here today because normally the other 10 months of the year you come on the third Monday, and this is the third Tuesday. And all because of the holiday and the change County Commission made for this year in January and February. Instead of moving the meeting up an entire week, we moved it 24 hours, moved it a day. So you'll be meeting tonight rather than last night because yesterday.
Yes, sir. Sure.
So I know you've got a lot to tell us, and you can get to it.
Well, there's a lot, of course, as always, things going on in the county for sure. I would like to mention at the very beginning here, we have a historical exhibit at the courthouse. This month is Black History Month, as you well know, and Brooke Driver in our office has really done a good job of making this happen. It's called Building a Bright Future, Black Communities in the Rosenwald Schools in Tennessee. It's in honor, of course, Black History Month. The self-guided exhibit describes the history of the Rosenwald Schools, which were a network of about 5,000 rural schools for African-American students in the South during the 20th century. And the students who grew up there became some civil rights movement leaders for sure. One of the former schools presented in this exhibit is Wilson County Training School. The Wilson County Civic League helped provide some information about this exhibit by sharing stories about the former school, and the exhibit highlights a school lecture of the first year that this school was open. So just to let people know that from February 18th to March 27th, Monday through Friday from 8 to 4 o'clock on the second floor of the courthouse where the county commission is held at, this exhibit will be there. And it's, of course, in partnership with our office, of course, Brooke Driver, at the Tennessee State Museum. The exhibit also made possible by the Fisk University, John Hope, and Audriel E. Franklin Library. So a neat exhibit for people that maybe want to learn a little bit of history, and so that's a good thing. Also, Steve Bland came by, and we talked a little bit about, he's the CEO of the RTA, the We Go Star, the Music City Star train, and we talked about some improvements that are on the way there. Hopefully we can find some funding, though, but would add some more trips if the funding could be found. One would be to kind of deadhead a couple of trips that are going on right now, meaning they don't have passengers on them, and put them later at night would be a good thing. The next thing would be to have some Saturday trips, morning and afternoon. Also, maybe to do a midday bus run, which would you could ride the train down in the morning, ride the bus back in midday, and then ride the train back in the afternoon. And, of course, with the late trains at night, that would kind of help. And then also some on-demand service, kind of like Uber service, except it would be free, located at each station. So if somebody came out of Nashville and stopped off at one of our stations, they'd have a way to get to, let's say they worked at Amazon, then they'd have a way to get to work. And so those are the future plan studies that have been done. Now what would be left up for us to figure out, Davidson County, Wilson County, Lebanon, City of Mount Juliet, to figure out how we would actually fund that particular service if we get to do that. But that is something that is going to be good if we can make that happen for our citizens. Went to a grand opening for TriStar Summit, their tower that just opened up, about a $80-something million project, and really was nice, looked good there as well, and so appreciate what they've done there to expand services to help a lot of our citizens in Wilson County there. Attended the Lebanon Chamber banquet, enjoyed that. It's always a professional event, good event. Met with Ken Archer. Ken is a guy with the team of funds, and so there were some funds left over from the tornado that happened in 2020, as you remember. Wilson County allotted for about $6 million of those funds, and so we've applied for those. It may be possibility of building a new Lagarda station, WEMA station, and hopefully that might help. And the reason for that would be to have we realized then having more equipment on the west side of the county for a disaster, because when that tornado came, it was tough for us to get down to Oak Street to get a lot of our equipment. So to have some on both sides would be good. And so that is the reason we hope we qualify for that $6 million grant to maybe make some of that happen. Chance to attend the JECDB quarterly meeting. Most time I don't go to those because we have the monthly meetings, but Ralph Schultz, the longtime CEO of the Nashville Chamber, was there and spoke, and he's retiring at this time, so we wish him well on his retirement, but definitely had a good talk about what's going on in the region here and what's to look for in the future. Magic Chamber Banquet, got to go to that. Mark does a fantastic job with that. It's more of a party than anything else, and they really do a good job of celebrating their businesses and
he's
everything.
a pretty good party animal, too, I think.
He is. I think you're right about that.
I'll hear about that later.
You will. The Vanderbilt Ingram Center, Cancer Center, had its opening. I know Tracy just left a few minutes ago, but really a great facility there. Keeps our people in Wilson County from having to go to Nashville to get treatments, and as we know, cancer is a tough thing to be dealing with, but when you can do it right here in your own home. So thanks to Vanderbilt Medical Center for everything that they do. They just really have provided so much for us over the past few years, and their investment has been great, and it's been a great opportunity for Wilson County. Historic Lebanon Gala, got to go to that. That was a good event as well. And then had a couple of speaking engagements. Spoke at Erica Story's class, which is a group of third graders, and talked a little bit about government there at Carroll Oakland Elementary. And then the Youth Leadership Wilson that Dory Mitchell does. And always good to see those leaders together there as they, get together, I think, every month and go to different places. They got to tour the jail, and really a good time there.
How do you relate to those little third graders?
Here's a funny story. I guess I had to learn to do something. A lot of times I'll take Monopoly money, and I'll give that money out based on the job that they say that they want to grow up to have. And I kind of know a little bit of the income level, so we'll give that money out and then go back and say, okay, now we got to make your house payment, so I'll tell them how much that is, and they'll give me that, and how much your car payment is, and how much your church tithe is if you do that, and if you want a cell phone, I need that money, so we'll go through all that, and then I'll say, okay, now give me some money for your taxes, and then I'll tell them what that tax money is for, what they get for that. And then a lot of times then we kind of also talk about how important education is, because the job that they choose as a career will tell them how much money they got left over in their hands, and that's what you get to play with. That's what you get to go shopping with or buy a boat with or whatever you want to do. And so it's a pretty good lesson both ways, but really that helps to help make some sense out of that. Yeah.
I'm glad I asked you. I was going to pick at you a little bit.
Yeah.
But that's a great idea.
Yeah, they really they enjoy the play money for sure, but they hate losing them or getting out of the money as well. And then we say, well, that job that you're looking for, it only pays that much. So if you want something better, then really enjoy your education here, get a good education, and maybe here. Of course, there are a lot of jobs that pay a lot that you don't have to go to college for, and we know that too. And so we give good money for those as well. But it's a fun time.
You ready for a break?
Let's do it.
We're ready for a break, and County Mayor Randall Hutto is with us. More coming up on Coleman Company up at 98.9.
Let's see what's happening on the roadways. Thanks to Absolute Kubota, high performance, high horsepower. 0% financing is still a thing. Now is the best time to save on new Kubota L-Series tractors, rated number 1 for durability and owner experience in the U.S. Absolute Kubota, 1506 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. Still some heavy traffic volume trying to get in from Hermitage into Donaldson right now. On I-40 over at Donaldson Pike. It remains heavy southbound 65 at Trinity Lane. It's just now starting to on 24 West up through NEI, coming in from Murfreesboro and Rutherford County. Hey, when you need dependable towing here in Middle Tennessee, remember to call STR Towing and Recovery. Check them out online, strtow.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Welcome to Hearthside Senior Living, Lebanon's unique senior living community designed for seniors to age in place, all within a safe, comfortable, and Christian environment. Beautiful retirement homes designed for an independent lifestyle with maintenance-free living. Hearthside Senior Living also continues the excellent tradition of assisted living for those seniors who need additional services. Hearthside Senior Living, an independent retirement community and assisted assisted living community, all on one campus in the heart of Lebanon. Call 615-443-1994 for a tour.
Hi, Cumberland baseball fans. I'm Will Graves, and I'm a senior pitcher from Rockville, Tennessee. We hit the road for the first time this week with 3 non-conference games. On Tuesday, we head to Pulaski to take on Tennessee Southern. Then, we travel to Spartanburg, South Carolina for a weekend series versus Spartanburg Methodist. Hear every pitch on the radio at 1490 AM or 98.3 FM and online at WANTFM.com and GoCumberlandAthletics.com. Check the Cumberland website for possible weather-related scheduling changes. We appreciate your support, and always remember, go Phoenix.
Coleman and Company here on this Tuesday, County Mayor Randall Plateau and a County Commission meeting tonight. And you've told us quite a bit about what's been going on here. And in a moment you'll be ready to get to tonight's meeting, but continue where we left off.
I will start with the retirement of Jim Majors. Is going to happen today. As a matter of fact, at 4 o'clock will be his last day there, and we wish him well. He's had a great career, no question. Of course, his whole family has served in the trustee's office for quite some time, and but he is going to step down for some health reasons, and so tonight the County Commission will have an opportunity to appoint his successor. And just a brief description of how that will work. We will open public comment period, allow anybody in the audience to mention anybody's name they would like to recommend for that job, and then we'll close public comment period and we'll go to the commission floor. Somebody's name might get mentioned by the public, but unless it's mentioned by the county commission, then they will not be considered or voted on. So when we close the public comment period, we go to the commission floor. They will recommend somebody, or 2 or 3, or how many they want to do. Once they do that, then we will let those people speak to the commission for 5 or 10 minutes just to talk about themselves for a second. Then we will vote, and then, of course, the one that has 13 votes or better will be the superintendent, the trustee, and they will serve actually until August the 31st of 2026. So that will be their term, and of course there'll be an election happen on August the 6th of that year that will determine who takes over for the next four years, of course. But that will be how that will be ran tonight, and so tonight they have that opportunity. They have 120 days to do that. The way the law reads is that if somebody retires and if a general election happens within the next 120 days, they don't have to appoint anybody. But if it doesn't happen within the next 120 days, they must appoint somebody. And they allow them to do that because they are the people that were elected by the people to have a say. And so that's why they let that voice happen. So that's going to happen tonight as well. And so I just want to kind of mention that. We also had a chance to speak to some home builders at the brewery at 109, a nice little place down there for people to go visit, but got a chance to speak to them. And then I went to Lebanon Senior Citizen Banquet. So that was a good time as well, and enjoyed that last Saturday night, as a matter of fact. I'll be real quick with what's going to happen at our meeting tonight, and then we'll get on to a couple of other things.
Well, let me throw this right here.
Yes, sir.
We got snow in the forecast. The meeting is scheduled. Is there any reason to think that it might be called off, postponed?
No, I think the weather, from what I can gather from Joey Cooper, our WEMA director, is that's going to happen later on the night. So no, the meeting will happen tonight.
Snow shouldn't be a factor.
I don't think it's a factor. I have noticed everybody's preparing. I noticed coming out Trialsville Ferry, the state already put some brine down, so everybody's getting ready for that. Tonight, Commissioner Fields will have the prayer and the pledge. Commissioner Fields also will have some special recognition for Mount Judd High School Marine Corps. Special recognition tonight for a Rotary Clubs. Commissioner Marlowe is going to have that one, and it's a pretty neat little deal here. Back for some time back, the Wilson County Rotary Clubs donated a book a month to every first grader in the county. The goal was to foster the love of reading at a young age and lay a strong foundation for learning. So the Rotary Clubs fix these books up each month and deliver them during the months of September through May to make sure that every child, every first grader, has a book of their own. And so really it was kind of started by Rob Porter with the Rotary Club, Mount Juliet Breakfast Club, which was approached by a teacher named Aubrey Hamlin, which said she realized reading was at a low level in the county, and she wanted to make sure that her kids had books to read at home. So look forward to that tonight and honoring all the Rotary clubs that take that time each month to do. There will be a rezoning heard tonight from R1 plan to a rural R1 plan, unit development master plan on the property of 124 Shaford Place there. It's in Commissioner McFarland's district. We'll also have a report from our ARP funds that Eric Brumfield, the Gladeville Utility District Manager, will come and present. And, of course, after that will be when we would do the resolution for Mr. Majors in his appointment. Resolutions tonight, we have several of them. One to appropriate, three of them are to appropriate funds for the WEMA organization, two for the Board of Education. We will have a resolution on the property that we're buying, the last property that's available to buy on the back side of the new Judicial Center that we're purchasing, the property of at 121 Rogers Avenue, so we'll look at that, and also pass a resolution about a transfer tax that the County Mayor's Association is working at. Transfer tax, we get a little portion of that, but the state gets a large portion of that, and so we're asking some of that extra that to stay in the county for some of our uses that need be here for such things as roads, school buildings, and whatnot, and so hopefully that will be something that will happen, we hope, but we're making a plug for that, and the resolution I just kind of in favor and in honor of that. I would like to mention, if I could take this opportunity, a longtime friend of mine, and when I first started coaching at Lebanon High School, he was there, and he was an icon, of course, in this community for quite some time. Bruce Skeen passed away yesterday. His body will be at Partlow Chapel. Arrangements are being made today, so just ask for your prayers to be with that family. But I'd ask permission to mention this morning because I know today in our world it's tough. If you don't get the paper at the right time, you may miss something. And Coach Skeen touched so many lives out there in so many areas, and just want to make sure that people know that and will remember his family, and definitely maybe have a chance to come by and visit with the family at Partlow Chapel.
Yes, I remember Bruce from many years ago, and he was such a great athlete, and then very successful as a coach, and even did a little football broadcasting as well.
I remember back, he did basketball, you remember too, and remember some of the great stories and the great lines that he came up with. He was definitely a chance to play also, I think, at Alabama.
Yeah.
Was he recruited by Bear Bryant to go there, and then maybe in the MTSU Hall of Fame in baseball.
Yeah.
But I know he's from the Tucker's Crossroads area, and you mentioned that a little while off the air. Any story you want to tell on Bruce this morning?
Well, one or two I probably shouldn't tell on the air.
I got you.
But, he was just a tremendous athlete. He had a lot of natural ability, and then he actually played, I'm pretty sure, 3 sports at Lebanon, not only football and baseball, but basketball as well. I think I'm right.
He did, and I think up there, the days that we were there, and I go back and look at those days. Those were fun times. Coach Fanata, which is passed on as well, but all of those people, Campbell, Brandon, all in the same area, and just thinking about the things that they taught me growing up in the coaching world, but just about life in general too. But Coach always was. He had a way to make you laugh. He could tell a story better than anybody that I know, I think. And we'll miss him, and I just wanted to mention that this morning, and maybe I know some of his players. Maybe.
Well, I'm glad you did. I had not heard, and certainly his older brother Gordon I actually knew pretty well too, who's been deceased for a while. But both those guys from Tucker's Crossroads and tremendous athletes.
Yes. But Coleman, that does me unless you got some hard questions for me.
We've got about 3 minutes left. It's unusual, but as far as the meeting tonight. You think we'll have somebody named to take over the trustee's office, and do you anticipate a long decision time, or be reconciled fairly quickly?
You know, it's kind of hard to tell sometimes. You put this out, and we posted the job. Mr. Major retired came to me 30 days or so ago, and we posted a job for 30 days now. And so you never know a lot of times what's on people's minds or what they're thinking out there, or who really has an interest. They don't have to come to me or anybody else. It comes down to the fact of really lobbying the 13 county commissioners or better, to get your vote in there to be able to fill this spot for the next year and a half, I guess. And so you don't know who will be nominated, really. I've heard a couple of names out there is what I've heard, but I've heard some other speculations. But I've only actually had 2 people come talk to me about the process and the procedure of how it will go. So that's the only 2 that I really know in that regard. And so I think it'd just be kind of up to them and the commission. In the commission, they know that this is their obligation to do tonight if they want to do that. And I'm sure they have been scouting as well, trying to, check different people out who would be the best person to hold that job. And, Jim did a tremendous job there as far as making sure that it was run efficiently. He has a great a set of people in the office there that really take care of business, and it's a big job. I mean, there's a whole lot of money that comes through our office, and it's amazing to think of them, the people that just pay in cash these days, and you wouldn't think so. There's a lot of transaction that happens there, so appreciate the service he did, and look forward to working with the next one.
And we'd have to say, in all honesty, whoever is appointed here to fill out this unexpired term does have their foot in the door pretty good as far as the election coming up then in 26. It's that's just the way it is. It does not a guarantee, but it probably indicates who could be our trustee for some time to come.
It could be, and I think that's probably all based too on what experience they have in there. Right. They at least get a trial run at it, and if they do a good job, then it definitely is a vote of the public to say, hey, let's keep that person there, and if they don't, then of course there's you got that chance.
Oh, this makes me. Your coming today reminds me to remind everybody, Mike. I don't think I did this. Mike Jennings, our county attorney, will be on in the morning, be at 7:00, and because of the change in the schedule, Mike in the morning at 7. So hopefully he can make it from Watertown in the snow or whatever. Randall Hutto, County Mayor, thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Coleman.
That is it for Tuesday. Join us tomorrow. Until then, I wish you a terrific day.